Hello, folks. I'm Hyper G with Lucky Sixes. PTG Proxy Table Gaming are here for a battle report post Art of War.
This, yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and
I
it's a
mean,
bit
Art of
sad.
War a couple of months ago, but we sort of have had a
Yeah,
lot of wargaming activity in these few months, haven't we? With
yeah, we have.
various new systems and stuff. So this
Yep,
is the post Art of War period now, isn't it? Because
we
what's
are in that
next
period.
on Iron
Yeah,
Age?
and yes, so and we probably got. I mean, I'm not. We're not still not sure exactly when 3.0 comes out or anything like that. But
No.
this, we enter the next stage, which is a teams tournament at Birmingham, Warsaw.
Yeah.
Which is quite cool. There's a decent amount of teams in it, and yeah, and this was a bit of a hodgepodge team
Bish bash
put
bosh.
together. Bish bash bosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, so trying something different. I did and ah about just tweaking the vampires, but I decided to move over. We'll come back to the vampires at another point. See how they
Yeah.
go. So we decided to move over to the Warriors of the Dark Gods, which I know as a few people have been saying on the comments when you're playing Warriors again. So
There you
now
go.
now we're playing
Yeah.
it.
No, I love how you're using we for this. I couldn't come to this team tournament at all,
Yes.
and so I have not planned a new list post orcs uh, at all. But I am fully cheerleading you in your warriors list in your
Yes.
team, as opposed to presenting a rival team, which is where we found ourselves in last year's team tournament in Cardiff,
Yes,
wasn't
it
it?
was. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
We need to
I'm
be on
fully
the same
behind
team
you.
at some point.
Yeah, well,
We
that
need to
all
go
started
and
the day you chose Matty P
I,
over me in the Pillars.
I
So,
know it did. It did.
yeah, so there you go. That was
Uh,
all those years ago. But who wouldn't choose Matty P over whoever,
I
right?
know.
So, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Over
there you go.
myself.
Yeah. But
Um,
yes, your Warriors in the team tournament.
my Warriors,
Woohoo!
yes. So, we're in a team tournament with. So I'm on a team alongside Paul Godbold from Fantasy Wargaming Podcast, um, fellow ex-England player Luke Trenter, and England Lions massive Mr. Clues, Tom Clues.
Well, Paul's
Um,
Lions as well, I think, isn't
oh
he?
yeah, 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 he is.
Still, technically.
But I
Well,
wanted to mention the gaming podcast of fantasy that he's on.
naturally, yes, because, smooth
Best to
addition.
get it, best to get it right.
Too
But
right.
yes, he is our captain as well, Paul. So
Mm.
yeah, it was sort of umd and things, and it was very laid back and said, "What do you want to play?" And I was like, "Well, do vampires, but warriors would be cool as well." And
Mhm.
so we got down to a warriors list. He's playing his empire, and today, and this is actually a game against Skipper for a bit of
Yeah.
practice.
Is he taking
Invite
Empire to the team tournament as
He
well?
is, yeah, yeah. So this
Oh,
is his
great.
Empire list versus my Warriors list,
Hmm.
and
Before
it
list
is
submissions, though, right? You might
before list
change things
submissions.
afterwards a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, but I think well, I certainly stick.
Okay.
So yeah,
Mhm.
list submissions. In fact, actually, it might not be. List submissions were a long time ago, and even when this goes out, I think it will still be a decent amount of time ago. So, yeah,
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
this is list as is, but it's just to
Okay.
see. Just a bit of a let's see how it is, and it will go out. This will go out afterwards, so
After the tournament, yeah. Mhm.
yes, let's just to see. So our first, and wasn't my only practice actually. I did get another practice against Aaron from
Mhm.
or AKA Vespasian. Well,
Mhm.
that nearly
Yeah.
went wrong. Um, and on the Glory of Golden State Gaming channel.
Yes.
From there.
USA still need to get that Vale Rider Cup back. Yeah.
We do, yeah, yeah, for the Rema.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I did have a game against him as well, which I won. But this one we wanted to see how I do against a decent amount of shooting and some ranked up infantry and
Mm.
stuff as well. So we will see. So my list, and I'll go into it a little bit. Probably go into a bit more detail on the first one of the tournament. The team
Mhm.
tournament, but anyway, it is Exalted Herald because I quite like the model and
PH.
the variety.
Mhm.
Chosen Lord on War Dayers going in the Warriors, which means they both have Sloth. which is a throwback to something. A lot of the time, Wrath is probably the best thing, without sort of thinking too much about it. But I there's something about this sloth brick that I want to get.
You've always liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to get some mileage out of. So we shall see. That's the plan, anyway. Sorcerer, as alchemy adept with the book, so he's got 3 spells, which is nice. And some plate armor, just so that he can go in that unit, and hopefully that Word of Iron or something will go off and help him out. Yeah. Fallen and Warhounds, rounding off the core. Bit of chaff. Then we get into the meat of it, and we have 10 Chosen. Of course, Great Weapon Wrath, because there is no other.
You're like the only person who plays Chosen. No,
apparently. I don't understand. Neither of us understand. But they are 640 points, so a fair chunk
for 10 models,
of points.
20 HP still.
20 HP still. We've got 4 Chosen Knights with Gluttony, which are the ones that if they're chaffed, is the thought, then they'll go up to Strength 6. So
that's cool.
They also have the Wasteland Torch, which is very nice. And I think I completely forget about in this battle. So there you go. I always had it as well, and I always forget. We'll skip the next entry because the last entry is the Chosen Chariot with Envy, which is just so. I think 2 up, res 5, 2 up armor, 5 wounds, and all the stuff that comes with. I think it's so cheap for that. But I mean, it's like an elite price, but I think it's very, very good. And then to finish. Yes, to finish, we have the Hellmaw. I've never used it before.
Slightly more expensive.
Yeah, and it's obviously it's the teleporting everything in my list as well. It wasn't just originally when I thought of it. I haven't looked at it for a long time. I thought they've gone through many iterations.
Yes,
and I thought it was just the Hellforged armor, but it's anything that isn't gigantic. I think. Okay. So. Looking at everything,
even the Warhounds can go through now.
Warhounds, the Herald, like everything in my list, the Chariot, everything in my list can go through it, which is great.
Except the Hellmaw.
Except that, can it go through? It's like an Inception type thing.
Yeah,
can a Hellmaw go through itself? If it does, that's the end of time.
End of Ninth Age and the world. Yeah,
that's what causes 3.0, I think.
Yeah, it's the new end times.
Moves through himself into a different dimension. Anyway, that's my list.
Yes.
It's it's fairly similar to stuff I've done before, probably with the addition of Hellmaw, and I'm excited to see how that does. That'll probably help the infantry side of things as well with movement. Excited to
when
see
you
how it
created
goes.
this list, you were like looking at this and you were thinking, well, me and you both liked the old Warriors list that you had from a few years ago. And you put it together and rewrote it, and then realised you had enough points for a Hellmaw as well.
So
essentially,
so what I had to take out was a standard from the Chosen.
That's it.
And if with I think Flaming Banner, I think it is. But so I took that off, and I had with a few item things, enough for a Helmor, and it wasn't
incredible.
It wasn't hard to work out.
And I thought that list you used to have was really strong as it was. So
it's decent on
teleportation device in as well.
Exactly. So very excited to play it, and I haven't had much experience, much practice with it, I would say, but I've played it a lot
in recent times
in the past. So
yeah.
Over to Empire and Paul and Tony from the gaming podcast Fantasy do dabble in Empire quite a bit.
They do. They both try.
I feel like it's one that they both like, but can't get too much mileage out of. But Paul has stumbled on a list that he's said he's getting some pretty good mileage out of. So that is the double arcane engine.
Stumbled his way of saying his genius.
Yes,
has created it.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's got Wizard Arcane Engine with an Arcane Engine later on. He's got 2 Wizard Adepts, which I think was channel, I want to say 6 or 7. It might even possibly 8. But it was like the insane amount of channels.
The prelate channels, isn't it, as well? Yeah.
So he's got the prelate, as you say, Black Steel, look at Sunna. as well. 2 marshals, 1 general, 1 BSB. The general's got Death Warrant, an Imperial Seal, and the BSB has a Legion Standard, Willow's Ward, and Basalt. So yeah, like nothing to write home about, but obviously
raided the rulebook.
Empire is synergy, so they all work in tandem. So 6 characters, pretty cool. Yeah. Huge unit of heavy infantry and halberds, with 2 units of heavy infantry supporting. 1 electoral cavalry mission getter.
Yeah.
Go getter.
Pouring dart.
Some state militia who are great.
Wizard bunker.
10 writers with the repeater gun. Oh yeah. I love that unit. I love that unit. So very expensive, but I love it. 5 Imperial Rangers, 2 artillery, 1 mortar, 1 volley gun, and 22 lots of 24 flagellants.
That's incredible. You get all the way down that list, and then you find out you've got 600 points of flagellants to deal with as well.
It's crazy, right? The sheer amount of stuff in this unit is like
so cheap.
It's basically a horde army. It's crazy good.
Yeah, it really is.
We played Frontline Clash and Breakthrough, which is round 1.
Okay.
So yeah, there we go. This was the deployment
on Warhall.
On Warhall, yes.
Thanks to Hugo, of course, for his
we
support with that.
Yeah, we found an evening midweek that we could both do, so we cracked on and did it. It was actually a really, a fairly quick thing, but I think that's because my turns take about 5 seconds. So, so I wanted to try some different things. In my other list, I was in my other game practice. I was quite compact, so I wanted to see how wide I could go with it. Obviously, Hellmaw being quite an important part of being able to go wide. I put the Hellmaw fairly central, but on with the left group of things, because it's got it's movement 6, 12-inch march, so it's fairly maneuverable as a single model. That I only have to be within 6 inches, I think, of the other stuff. So I've got a good range there, and I put down first, so he was able to do stuff. Then I put the Hellmaw marker basically the other side of him, so I've got options. So I've got Herald on the left, Chosen Chariot, Fallen, Hellmaw, Dogs in the forest, the Sloth Brick, and the Chosen Knight supporting them. He then went down and gone.
I was going to ask, what you thinking behind the chariot, like facing that way behind the
it's a single model. I get another inch or so as well.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm going first. I dropped for first, so I know I'm going first. So we played. Oh no, I've got this. I'm not sure this is that. Maybe it's a slightly different one because it's not Frontline Clash because he's got the big centre.
Oh right, okay.
That's why. Otherwise, I would just be on the line. So
yeah,
we're playing in circle, so I don't know which one that is. But yeah, it was still Breakthrough though, so that's weird.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's all right.
But anyway, it is what it is. So yeah, that was it really. That was as far up as I could get him, and he's only got movement 7. I want to say he has got envy, so he can charge really far, and he can't march. So yeah. From Empire point of view, he's got Flagellants on the left with a mortar behind, the 2 arcane engines, the one on the right is the wizard. In front of the wizard, he's got the big halberdiers. Either side is the 2 support units with the state militia just in front. He has got a
wizard bunker.
The wizard bunker is the 5 skirmishers.
Sure.
Who are just to the left of that Hellblaster volley gun. Then he's got 5 electoral cav, some more flagellants, and the pistoliers out on the right, which he's actually vanguarded back.
Of course, that'll chisel.
So on to my turn 1, and I move up as aggressively as I can on this left side, trying to go into the flank with the Herald. Thinking that actually there's not a great deal over there that's gonna really scare him, so I don't need him next to the Hellmaw to teleport anywhere. Otherwise, I just move everything up within 6 inches of the Hellmaw and up as far as I could. On the right side, the Sloth, I think, do march this turn, but march inwards a bit. So they've got a bit of a thing. They go straight for that Halberdier unit, which I think has all the characters in as well.
Sure. Yeah.
The Chosen Knights come up to be like that, so that the Hellblaster volley gun cannot get them.
There's a hill. Yeah.
And I get cover currently, hard cover from the Pistoliers where I'm situated.
Cool. That's handy.
Not a lot goes off in Magic apart from Word of Iron. Which I get off to give them a 1-up just in case Pistoliers do plink plink. And I also, because I'm not teleporting anyone, I put a second marker over there, basically the other side on his other flank, but in the mix to make him think, really.
Yeah.
Over here, I'm gutted to. There are no charges, but I'm gutted that he's able
wondering about that. I was just
to maneuver himself, that he can get out of that, and I'm just like, that's.
But he's going to be hitting on like 6s, sure.
It does this turn.
Yeah.
But
then he's very maneuverable.
The annoying thing is, I just don't have the maneuverability or anything to go after him. So I've just got to ignore him now, and for the sake of hard cover, was it worth it? Basically, is it? And I don't. And I think the answer is no. So, yeah, annoying.
At least Word of Iron's on though.
But Word of Iron's on him.
If he does 1 or 2 wounds, he'll have done well.
Yeah, I'm not expecting him to do too many wounds, to be honest. But the fact that he got out of arc that's just a noob error, really.
It's millimeters.
Yeah. Otherwise, this is Empire movement, and no, not a lot has changed. I know. He doesn't need to come to me. I'm the one that needs to force the game, so he's just gonna do that. We did discuss afterwards. Another way of playing this was just to sit back and then on turn 6 come forward. But that would make a terrible bat rep, and it would be a bit of a waste of an evening, because that's.
Well, if it was breakthrough, you probably need to move a bit earlier than turn 6. But then,
he's not coming forwards.
Oh, you mean him? Right, I'm with you.
Yeah. So no, yeah. So as in me, sit back and just teleport.
Oh, of course, teleporting. Yeah, no, I forgot about that. Yeah.
So just
they don't
do that
lose
turn
scoring
6.
on the turn that they.
I'm not sure. Or say turn 5.
Some of the
when they do.
There
is something like that.
Lose scoring. I don't know. I haven't read the helmet.
Yeah, I'll have to look before. We're recording it before the tournament, so that's one of my notes for today.
So they lose scoring.
Put it in
the vermin swarms lose scoring when they go through a tunnel, don't they?
Yeah, put it in the comments anyway, though. Let us know for that.
Yeah.
Over here, I charge the flagellants. I need a 7 to get in. I think 7 or an 8. So I'm just. I know it's not the best thing, but I don't want to sit there and just get shot all game. No. So I need to go in.
Took 2 wounds as well.
Take 2 wounds from Pistoliers. Yeah,
even with the 1-up save. Yeah.
But yeah, so let's go. Let's get in. Unfortunately, I don't.
Yeah.
I was just there. I think it was an 8.
On the hill.
Now I'm saying it. I think it was an 8. I was like, I didn't get an 8. What's just right?
Yeah. What happened to that envy?
Well, yeah, exactly.
You had on there before.
Otherwise, I just move up like so. You can see my herald over on the left. Very happy to be in the flank and not really scared of anything over there. It's tough to see what he's going to do other than go behind him, though, because he can't really touch any of the big units on his own too much. Especially as he can't fly. No, he's picked the Veil Walker because that's always so that's Sorcerer Immortal, and this one he took
the hardcover one.
Hardcover, yeah. So
yeah, or no, I don't mean hardcover. Do I? I mean hard target.
Minus hard target, target. If you're in a combat on your turn, you get you win at combat. Sorry, you win back.
Yeah.
Which I thought would be super useful. Actually, it's not the most useful against this list because there's only a few things. There's only Pistoliers really that I really care about in that regard.
Although a mortar to the face wouldn't have been nice.
Yeah, but essentially all it does is it moves the target, which is a good reason to have it. It's one of those.
Don't shoot me, shoot the rest of my army.
Yeah, it's just everything else gets shot. So this is my movement apart from my Fallen, who do teleport, decide to teleport in front of them. To stop them charging too much against me. I'm hoping to maybe get a double charge in my next turn. But also, if they want to go against Fallen, even if they charge me, I'm first, and I've got 3 attacks each. So actually, they're a decent.
Quite a bit.
I think regarding that, and this is where they end up.
Sure.
Over here, I do. So Grave Calls gets dispelled. Hellfire goes on the non-mage one. Does 0.
Kills it. Oh.
0. It's got a 5-up armor save.
I know, that's ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, I've killed one of those things with pulls with Swarm of Insects before. I got super lucky the other direction. But yeah, Hellfire should be pretty dangerous to them.
It was the higher one as well. And I was like, fine. Yeah. So 2d6 strength 6, 0 wounds. Okay, fine. So this is Empire movement, and you can see where he started. He is moving back. This basically stops my Herald going into the support unit. Possibly the mortar, but maybe not. I can't. I'm doing this.
No, you'll probably still clip it.
Yeah, possibly. But essentially, just moving back doesn't go into my Fallen. Especially after I get Gloria Gold and Alchem fire off, and just moves back and is gonna shoot stuff. So, he shoots stuff, and to be fair, the Pistoliers do have to move, but they move there, and with all of his shooting, including the Hellblaster, they do, I want to say, 2 more wounds.
Yeah, and now they're probably set up for the rest of the battle to shoot away, aren't they?
Yeah, not the worst in the world, to be honest, but yeah, still annoying. And on to my turn. So I double charge and double charge. In hindsight, I perhaps should have gone after the Electoral Cav with my
on the other side with the Knights.
Chosen Knights, and I'm not sure exactly why I didn't. I think obviously the distance. Maybe I was worried that a 9 I wouldn't get, but I am on a hill, I guess, so I don't know.
It's good to kill the artillery as well, though, and then you're in his grill, aren't you? So
yeah, that was my thought. So if I can work through these flagellants, not too many flagellants are against me as well, and hopefully I'll eventually overrun into that. On the other side, my chariot just can't not charge, I'm afraid. But he doesn't want to charge in completely on his own, so the Herald gives him a bit of support in the flank where he's not going to take too many attacks, and most of the time he's going to be on the winning side of combat. So I'm pretty happy with the Herald there, and we can do some wounds into the
they don't spike on the chariot. Really.
Yeah, exactly. This is the remaining moves, which is basically my Hellmaw and Chosen, or my Chosen go up 10-inch march, and my Hellmaw goes over to be next to them to move them if I want them moved. These Sloth Warriors don't march because I need that Sloth with all the shooting around. But I do move past the hill, so if the Pistoliers want to shoot them, they need to move again.
You left your dogs behind.
At this point, charging or getting charged doesn't matter. He's not counter-charging any of my flank stuff.
Yeah.
So realistic, I was like, well, my warriors don't care if they charge me or I charge them. The same outcome's going to happen. Like, regardless.
Yeah.
So what do I need the chaff for? So I just decided I don't need him in this game, and let's go.
Yeah. I mean, you weren't tempted to reform them, like, what are you, 7 wide and go after the flank of the writers? Make the writers turn and shoot them for a turn?
I've kind of moved them there to stop the writers coming round too much and getting anything else. Yeah. They can shoot at Sloth with the -1 to wound. It's not the worst thing in the world.
Once they go over the hill, yeah.
Yeah. And the unwieldy. So I've kind of put in there so that if the Pistoliers do come down, I can charge them in the rear, but we'll see.
Yep.
But I just decided that I didn't need them. I get Glory Gold and Alchemical Fire off. I think he stops the Word of Iron. So I go the
Word
higher.
of Iron on the Fallen would have been amazing.
Yeah, I had a higher Word of Iron on them, and he stopped that, so I got Glory Gold off. And I do a bunch of wounds. I obviously lose the Fallen, but I also lose. He does 3 wounds to me out of like 4 or 5 attacks.
Well, I suppose the flagellants are attacking even if you killed them, aren't they? So that's your issue.
So I did a bunch of wounds, but I mean, I did loads, so I'm just hoping he doesn't continue that sort of streak.
At least the knights can't charge in to help out, I guess. But
that was a
grind. You're probably not winning there now.
So yeah, I moved over to make sure that the knights couldn't charge me. Over here, I do a bunch of wounds, and they do spike. They kill 4 out of 5 wounds on my chariot.
Oh,
I'm saying it's a spike. There's what, 8 attacks?
About right, isn't it? Yeah.
8 attacks hitting on 4s, wounding on 4s. So 4 is quite a lot, to be fair.
Well, yeah.
I've got a 2 up, which goes to a 5 up as well. So it's a decent amount of
prelate in there to get hatred or anything.
No. So yeah, I was surprised how many wounds they did, but I did a bunch to them, so I think I killed like 9 or 10. And this
they might have had more attack. They might have had 12 attacks actually because they were in line formation. So 12 attacks.
So yeah,
that is about right. 3 would have been
4 and 4. Yeah, 3. Yeah, that is exactly actually. No, 2 is
3 would have been average. 12 attacks, 6 hit, 3 wound,
and then a 5 up save.
Oh yeah, I suppose yeah. It's still spiking there. But,
it's a slight spike. It's in the grand scheme of things, it's not that much.
Dice
like
don't
1 extra.
Maths.
Yeah. But yeah, this is how he moves, I think, and moves the Pistoliers down, but out of line of sight of the dogs. I couldn't quite get him to where I wanted him to be. Yeah. So yeah, there's that. But again, not much movement on the Empire side. The only other movement is that the sword and board guys on the left, as we're looking at it, of the halberdiers, turn to face. That's about it.
Yeah.
Over here, he does 2 more wounds.
Mm-hmm. You got
it's got to be 3. It's got
only got standard, yeah.
Yeah, only a standard left. And I do a bunch to him, but he's only got 1 wound left to do on me. I think he's going through them quicker than I thought he would, but then again, whether or not that's just me misjudging it. And the chariot dies, but this is and we're on to my movement as well. So like I said, in terms of the actual gameplay and things, that is going quite quick. There. My warriors move up. I don't really care at this point. They just get into combat. And just making it awkward for the Pistoliers, if nothing else. Otherwise, I move up like so. In combat, in the last one, he got -1 strength on my Herald, which I actually let off because I want to stop anything happening on the other side. But he goes through me just as quick, so I may as well have done this. But this is after combat, he reforms to face this way.
Okay. Yeah.
As you see, no wounds on me. He's just chewing through the flatulence, but can he get through them in time?
This is commander that's jumped out.
No, it's a wizard. Yeah, it's one of the 210-point wizards that jumped out to stop the Chosen. I'm not sure I would if I was a wizard.
Well, yeah.
But he's jumped in front of 10 Chosen Wrath Great Weapons, and the militia have gone in front of the warriors as well. Pistoliers come on the hill, and the Electoral Cav start going for that breakthrough.
Making a break for it.
As you can see as well, in the last turn, unfortunately, the Chosen Knight did die.
Indeed, and his flagellants are running for the corner.
And there was 3 flagellants left, so I can't get them. I was like, To be fair, it makes sense. That's kind of what flagellants do, isn't it? And that's if you can get a unit at least, and then run away, they've done their job. It's just
if they keep half their points, they're golden.
And I was thinking about this, and I was like, how can they? I was like, but I've got no other way of dealing with flagellants other than combat, which is exactly what flagellants want.
Or like 9 Hellfires.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, that I think I need to readdress. If I play this matchup again with flagellants, I'd be a bit more respectful of them, I think.
The trouble is, the Empire player will not let you avoid them.
Well, as we've seen, they'll just sit there.
Yeah. They'll be where they need to be to protect the rest of the army.
To make a game of it, I've sort of kind of like pushed forward of it, but realistically, I think in a tournament, which is obviously what I'm going towards, I think the sitting back and being a bit more prudent, maybe.
Especially when you do have that teleport and if it's breaking.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah. So this is the rest of the movement and maybe a close-up of stuff. And the marches as well, the steady men, so 3d6. Leadership.
Cold-blooded, yeah.
Over here, the mortar come down. Hellblaster comes down and kills like 7 sloth warriors, which I was like, oh, I don't need to. That's another thing as well. It's like the halberdiers, I don't really care about if I'm at full strength. I can't go in with not 2 ranks. Like it's very difficult. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's not a lot else for me to do at this point. I charge the chaff, essentially. And I charge here. Him going on the hill is only actually like a 9. And I don't mind if I don't get in there. So he turns and flees with a pistol. So happy days. I get a grave.
I don't think the dogs would have so much success if they declare a charge on the knights somehow.
No,
but they might hold them up.
That's the gambit. Grave calls, of course, does not need to be. I do not need to be out of combat or anything because it's a hex. So I cast it, and this time grave calls kills the non-wizard arcane engine.
Sure.
And I also get a hellfire off. I dice him on the hellfire to help me in that combat, which is great.
Yeah.
I think, though, this might be after combat. I'm just going to go to the next picture because I think it's my turn next. And I've got in my head that he did hold up my herald annoyingly, even though there was like 6
It's not
left.
your turn next because you charged into the wizard.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah.
This is your turn.
But no. But yeah, anyway, after combat, boom. I know, I do kill him. Yeah. And I overrun. I need an 8 to get in.
Ooh,
and I get 7.
Didn't quite make it.
It's just, I'm so
That
nearly.
support unit's facing the wrong way, isn't it? So
it is.
It's not that anything's a threat to Chosen, to be honest. But yeah.
No. And this is the how it looks after. It's alternate child. I obviously kill the chaff as well in the middle. He comes in and charges very confidently, and I go, I'm a bit worried at why you're so confident. And you're like, oh yeah, no, I definitely charge. I mean, it needs a decent amount. I think he needs like a 7 or an 8. Yeah, no stress rod or anything, so could not.
It's a lot of combat res and bodies.
Yeah, it's at the point where he goes, well, I'll definitely charge, and I'm like, oh, will you? Okay. I've got Chosen Lord in there.
That's going to take on the Chosen Lord.
Oh, right, okay.
I'm guessing you've got a champion too, though.
And he gets in with both. Yeah, I got champion. And otherwise moves towards that corner as quickly as he possibly can.
Yeah, once they're there, you can't do much about it, especially if it's a big corner there.
Yeah. So then we go on to his combat phase, and so I like
ranked up infantry for Empire. They've got so many secrets.
I know it was. I actually do a decent amount of wounds to him, but he does a decent amount back. I think it's about 7-7. I might even be winning on wounds because I killed 5 of my general kills 5 of the normal support unit, but the combat res puts me down by like 4. And I just can't pass the
BSB, Legion standard,
loads of stuff,
3 ranks, standards, normal standards. Yeah.
So they beat me by I think it was 4 off the top of my head, and I just don't pass the thing, and they run me down. I was like, oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
And I think with all the synergies and everything, it is kind of there to be a decent combat unit. So even with the -1 to wound, it didn't really make much of a difference. So yeah, that was a shame. That's a big lot of points from my point of view. My turn 6. So this is my last turn. My Hellmaw goes in the corner because I don't need him anymore. My Chosen just charge to kill the War Machine, so that on his turn I'm off the board and we're all gravy. And the Herald goes into the support unit. knowing that it's just a couple of leadership checks away from getting their points and nothing else. Over here, you can see the Chosen do go through the War Machine, thank God.
I'd be very surprised if they didn't. Yeah.
The Herald does a bunch of wounds. I think he does and this is over a couple of rounds of combat as well. Takes wound though. I think he took 2, but regained 1.
He didn't do that many wounds. If there were only 20 to start. Huh?
Yeah, actually, you're right. It's 2 wounds versus 2, but I charged in and the rear. Something like that. I don't know.
Oh, it was in the rear originally, or the flank. Yeah.
And this is Empire turn 6, and also the end of the game. Right there. The electoral.
The knights were already in your deployment zone, weren't they?
Yeah, because I was big flank. You got it. Otherwise, this is how it ended. I've got obviously 3 big chunks of points, but the biggest chunk in the sloth brick does go down. So yeah.
Were your Chosen not counting as scoring in his deployment zone? Did you lose the objective because your Chosen were off the board? I mean, how did you play it? Because it's 1-1 if the Chosen are counting, isn't it? But it's 1-0 to him if they're not counting. Are you pondering what you did now?
Yeah.
Could you have kept the Chosen on the board? Because nothing could have charged them and killed them. You probably wouldn't have lost them.
But I know I lost the objective. So maybe
you could have
there was
kept
something
the
else.
on the board.
I know that this tournament wasn't straight laced. So I've got in my head being with the encircle being changed into what I thought it was. Perhaps it was capture the flags and breakthrough.
Oh, I see. Is in a double thing.
A double whammy. Yeah.
Oh well, let's not worry about that. It was all a friendly game anyway.
It was just a friendly game. It's nice to see.
If you counted it as losing the objective, then yeah.
I definitely lost, and I knew I lost.
Well, you did lose if the Chosen went off the board.
But yeah, we'll play it like that. But because of the objective loss, it was a 17-3, 14-6 on points, and 17-3 on the objective, which actually I thought was quite harsh on how the game went.
Yeah.
But
it was about
looking at it,
just keeping their points, and
it seems like a worse matchup than I thought it was going to be, because I mean, I guess if the flags is a thing, flagellant's obviously massive plus for the Empire, but just so much the Empire could have. It seemed
they've got tons of stuff.
and I didn't have any range stuff that could deal with ranks or big blocks, and he's got so many of them. So many bodies and things. So, it was a really fun game. Paul's obviously a really nice guy anyway to play. And it was good to see a lot of stuff. I'm going to go back somewhat, though. Just to this is fine. So, I originally had on the left side my Hellmaw, Chosen, Herald, and Chariot.
You did.
On the right side thing. I think what I'm going into in my head a bit more, I think the infantry... being the sloth block really needs to be next to the Hellmaw.
Sure.
I think that needs forward. Give it a boost.
You used to have the relentless banner on them in your old
I did, but I've got flame in because of alchemy. No, so the alchemy does seem like I've got a big point of it, and so and something that Aaron Vespasian said as well. It kind of does rely on. I've got a lot of strength 4 stuff in that brick. Does rely on getting alchemy
reroll
to wound off as well. So there's that. But it was a really fun game. I think like I said, I put all the infantry near the Hellmaw. I don't think I'd mess around with that. Maybe doubling up the Herald and the Chosen Knights might be a better thing. But I mean, a big mistake early doors, letting the Pistoliers get behind me to annoy me.
Yeah,
and it's a big chunk of points. So.
I wonder, I mean, obviously, we're yet to see how you get on in the tournament. This is hopefully to give you a food for thought more than advice, really. I've got this Hellmaw. It is a 310-point model. I know that it gives you teleportation options. In this game, you only really teleported once. Well, you have only teleported the once. Is that value for money when the Hellmaw is nothing except giving you teleport?
Yeah, you do, and I've failed to mention it in this one because it did nothing, but you do get the toxic blow-ups. So occasionally I was adding, I was blowing it up and then
so you
doing
did a wound to
So
something.
yeah, like the War Machine or whatever, but it just wasn't. It's just not a damage dealer, and that's something I've tried in the last few, and it just doesn't do enough. Or 2d3, it'll do 2, or something like that, and then it's only toxic, so it's only strength 3. So it's I'll
be really interested to see how much you get out of it.
Yeah,
a lot of people have dropped the Hellmaw from competitive lists. I know you're playing it as much for the let's see what it can do.
Yeah, I've got a model. I've actually got 2, and I've never played it. I'd literally never played it, even after buying it. So this was a chance for me to do that. I'm really keen to see how much value or even shenanigans and stuff you can do with it, and how it, whether it does change any battle or whether it's just a minor distraction. But I mean, otherwise warriors are pretty solid. I know it's not top tier list building. I know there's more efficient things you can do. For example, I don't have any warrior knights.
Warriors have got a lot of options.
Which is the other one I really want to try at some point. But I need models for that. But otherwise a good fun game, and well done, Paul. El Capitan showing us the way.
I think Paul played that well. Yeah. He showed that he knows how his list works in this one, and you kind of need that when you're relying on synergy so much. Like, it's very easy for Empire to fall apart fairly quickly if something key to their synergy goes wrong. Yeah. And when it doesn't go wrong, they can really work together really well. So
I think so. And I think potentially if I had a bit more support for the Sloth Brick, which is a lot of points, right? That could have changed the game as well. So thinking more about that, I was very on my own. In all the places in this battle. So I was very spread out and doing the things unit by unit, and I think I need to be a bit more cohesive moving forwards. So it's good, all good learning. So happy.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see your battle. Well, no one saw your battle with the Vespasian, because obviously that was just a fun game. But I would be tempted to not spread out too much with that warriors. Not too, a little bit. But I think go hard with everything.
Yeah, totally. Excited for the tournament, and hope you guys enjoyed the bat rep on Warhall.
Yes.
Otherwise, like, share, subscribe, do your normal things. Check us out on all the stuff that's here.
Yeah, and join Patreon for the support us even more, because we like that.
Got another game coming up.
Oh yeah, I'm playing the Patreon. The Patreon, a Patreon. Looking forward to that. And give us some comments on that. It's predict how is Lucky Sixes and Team going to do in the upcoming team tournament.
And you can always use these videos as a way to sort of explain the Hellmaw stuff, even though obviously I won't see it until after the tournament anyway. But for anybody watching, if you've got any tactics on how you use the Hellmaw and experiences if you had with that, put on these videos coming up, because we're all very excited to see how that gets on.
Definitely. So it's a really intriguing unit. Cool. We'll look forward to hearing how you go with the tournament then.
Yeah, man. Otherwise, I've done all the like, share, subscribe, so stay safe. Thanks for watching, and see you later.